The Roman Empire ruled for 1,000 years and conquered most of the known world. But what if they had smartphones, satellites, and modern weapons? Let's dive into history's most mind-blowing alternate timeline. The year is 27 BC. Augustus Caesar has just taken power and peace has fallen over the Roman world. But soon he'll receive a mysterious package from the future. Inside is an iPhone 13 Pro Max and a SIM card with service in every corner of the empire and beyond. With it, Augustus can instant message anyone he wants, anywhere in the world. No more sending messages via carrier pigeon that take months to arrive. Augustus can now chat with his generals in Germania and Syria at the same time. This will change everything. At first, Augustus uses it to keep in touch with his generals, giving orders and receiving reports in real time. He learns about the latest happenings across his vast empire in an instant. Then he starts messaging governors and senators, keeping them informed about rebellions and potential threats. Soon, all of Rome's leaders have smartphones and the era of instant communication has begun. Any rebellion or civil war is crushed before it even starts. The Senate debates whether to allow Christianity to spread throughout the empire. By sundown, Augustus has made up his mind, and in less than an hour, the decision reaches every bishop and priest throughout the provinces. But why stop there? Surely this device could be used to better manage the vast territories and 60 million citizens of Rome. So Augustus uses the phone's front camera and the high-powered satellite network to do a digital census of the entire empire. He knows exactly how many people live in every city, town, and village under his rule. All this data is stored on one of the cloud servers around the world. In fact, the entire empire is mapped in Google Earth. Augustus zooms out until the whole world fits in his phone screen. This is only the beginning. Ancient Rome versus modern weapons. What would happen if Julius Caesar had a machine gun? Or what if Hannibal Barca commanded a tank division? This new technology completely changes the balance of power. You think the Goths, Vandals, and Huns would stand a chance against the Roman army armed with modern weapons? Not a chance. The legions are equipped with state-of-the-art firearms, drones, and armored vehicles. Rome conquers the Parthian Empire in a single battle. Even China, India, and the Americas would fall to Rome's military might by the year 208. Let's not forget about the advanced navigation systems available to these ancient Romans. Legion commanders would never get lost again. They can conquer new lands without any setbacks. There's no such thing as friendly fire anymore either. Now each soldier has a GPS watch telling them exactly where their comrades are at all times. Rome becomes a surveillance state though. Augustus has installed cameras in every province, recording everything that happens, but with great surveillance comes great responsibility. In this timeline, Rome controls all the information and decides what its citizens can see and hear. Would Christianity even be allowed to spread with all this surveillance? Could Jesus be crucified when everyone is watching, and who controls the cameras? The emperor? The Senate? Is Rome now a police state? You can decide in the comments right now. Ancient Rome was full of aqueducts carrying fresh water from the hills outside the city to the sprawling metropolis. But wouldn't it be better if those aqueducts were electric? Aqueducts powered by the grid could carry water to every corner of the empire. This means the Roman army would always have access to fresh water, making conquering new lands much easier. The flow of traffic through the streets of Rome would also be improved. Remember those pesky cars stuck in traffic jams today? Well, with the eye-powered cars, traffic would flow smoothly through the streets of Rome, reducing the number of accidents and travel time, plus cars would be way more fuel efficient. So Rome wouldn't need as much oil to keep the city moving. And who doesn't love a good traffic jam? This brings us to the roads themselves. The Romans built some of the earliest paved roads in Europe, which helped their empire spread like wildfire. But what if those roads were even better? What if they were built to last forever? It turns out that concrete highways could be built from Britain to Egypt in just a few months instead of years. Roads like these would help trade flow more easily, making it easier for Rome to collect taxes and keep its citizens happy. Plus, they'd make it easier for the military to move troops around the empire. No more worrying about supply lines or getting bogged down in the mud. Those pesky barbarians wouldn't stand a chance against Rome's mighty highway system. It's hard to imagine Rome without its iconic aqueducts. These engineering marvels brought clean drinking water to the city's inhabitants and were a source of great pride for the Roman people. But what if the aqueducts were bigger and better? What if they were so big that they couldn't possibly collapse? It turns out that with modern materials and construction techniques, aqueducts could be built that would last thousands of years. Not only would this provide Rome with a reliable source of fresh water, but it would also be a symbol of Rome's power and prosperity. And let's not forget about Rome's tallest buildings, the skyscrapers. These marvels of modern architecture are not only beautiful to look at, but they're also incredibly functional. With modern construction techniques, Rome could have had skyscrapers that scraped the clouds long before the Middle Ages rolled around. Imagine walking down the streets of ancient Rome and seeing towering skyscrapers everywhere around you. It would truly be a sight to behold. Not only would these buildings provide Rome with much-needed housing, but they would also become a symbol of the city's wealth and grandeur. Rome's underground metros would be the talk of the ancient world. These high-speed trains would zip people around the city in minutes, making it easy to get to work, visit friends, or catch a chariot race at the Colosseum. In fact, with modern train technology, Rome could have had metros connecting all of its major cities. Imagine taking a high-speed train from Rome to Pompeii in less than an hour. Travel would be so easy and convenient that everyone in the empire would want to take the metro. No more wasting time on rickety boats or bumpy roads. The metro would be the preferred mode of transportation for everyone from senators to slaves. And let's not forget about the noise. Chariots can get pretty noisy, especially when you've got thousands of them all trying to cram into the same narrow street. But with metros running below ground, the streets of Rome would be much quieter. People would be able to enjoy a stroll through the Forum without having to yell over the din of passing chariots. They could sit down in one of the many plazas and enjoy a nice cup of Roman coffee, without being distracted by the honking of chariot horns. Not only would Rome's underground metros be an excellent way to get around, but they would also be a marvel of engineering. The tunnels would be so well built that they would last for centuries. In fact, archaeologists may discover them centuries later and be amazed at the ingenuity of the ancient Romans. They would scratch their heads and wonder how the Romans managed to build such a complex system of tunnels without modern equipment. But the truth is, they simply had a knack for engineering and a lot of slave labor. Augustus now rules a surveillance state with an iron fist. No rebellion or threat goes unanswered. Every citizen knows Big Brother is watching. Rome becomes too powerful to fall. But is this really a good thing? Freedom and security are always a tightrope walk, and in this timeline, Rome has chosen security. Did we make a mistake by giving the Romans modern technology? Would it have been better if they stayed in the Middle Ages? You decide in the comments. The Roman Empire is only one of history's greatest what-ifs. What if the Vikings had submarines? What if ancient Egypt had airplanes? What if Ivan the Terrible had a nuclear bomb? We explored all these questions and more in our series, What If? Watch the whole series here and let us know in the comments which historical what if we should cover next, and don't forget to subscribe.